Thank you for joining us today in this virtual school assembly. My name is Elham Fardad, and I am the CEO and founder of the charity Migrant Leaders. I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself. I am in my 40s, married with 2 wonderful children, and I've had a really rewarding career as a director in big companies for 23 years in GE, News Corp, and Ernst & Young. But life wasn't always this good. When I was 18, I was just a young migrant with challenges such as visa, family breakup, no money, and no hope. But I knew one thing. I knew that the way to my success was going to be through education. I knew that I really would like to go to university. But I had a problem. I had earned, throughout my teenage years in the UK, I had earned and saved £4,000 by teaching maths, selling perfumes, and things like that. But because my family had broken up and I had a younger brother, I felt that my mom was going to need that £4,000 more. So I decided that I would give that money to her. And once again, I was penniless. And as a foreigner student, as a migrant, I wasn't entitled for my tuition fees to be paid. So I had to convince the city council to treat me as a home student. So I decided that I would camp outside Birmingham City Council for 3 days in a row until I can convince someone to count me as a home student so that at least my tuition fees would be paid and I could then work in a restaurant or something like that to pay for my living expenses, such as my rent and food and books and so on. So I camped outside Birmingham City Council offices, and on the first day, I watched each person go in and out of the building. And it was as if I wasn't there. Nobody noticed me. So I went home. But I decided that I've got to be persistent. I've got to come back. So I came back a second day. And on the second day, I realized that I had to gather the courage and talk to someone. So I went and said to a lady who was about to go into the building, I said to her, "Hello, my name is Elham Fardad, and I need to speak to the decision maker." I had just studied A-level economics, so I had learned about the concept of the decision maker. So I thought I'd better sound posh and intelligent and use that word. She looked at me a bit weirdly, probably thought I was mad, and she went back into the building and I never saw her again. Realizing that that didn't work, I went home. But being a bit stubborn or determined, I came back on a third day. And this time I decided I will say it like it is. So I stopped a gentleman going into the building and I said to him, "Hello, my name is Elham Fardad, and I really need to speak to somebody who could help me be counted as a home student so that I could go to university." And he understood that. So he said, "Let me see what I can do." He went into the building and didn't come out for 10 minutes. During those 10 minutes, I was already thinking about plan B and plan C. Plan B was I'm going to camp outside here for a month if I have to, until someone says yes. So luckily, it didn't come down to that. And he did come back within 10 minutes and took me to a colleague. And the two of them listened to me. I said to them that this is my situation and I really need to be counted as a home student. That will be a lifeline. It will be an incredible opportunity because I get to go to university and get myself out of this situation I'm in through good education. And they said that they would help. And a few weeks later, I received a letter that said I will be a home student and that my tuition fees will be paid. That was the most important letter that I have received in my life. Because of that single opportunity, I got to go to university, finish a degree in accounting and finance. And a few years later, when I had qualified as an accountant, I landed my first financial controller job in GE when I was 25 years old. And the rest was history. So because of the memories of the hardship and adversity I went through. And because of that single opportunity that somebody gave me, I realized how special young people are. That when given opportunities, they grab them and do something special with the opportunities. And because of that, 3 years ago, I launched the charity Migrant Leaders, which is for 16 to 25-year-olds. And those who join us, apply to our program and get in, they get 3 things. So I'm going to show you by sharing my screen what our program is about. I hope that everyone can see the screen that I'm sharing now. So when a young person applies to our program, what do they get? They get 3 things. First of all, they get a mentor. We have more than 500 senior mentors from 95 big companies, as well as organizations and public sectors such as the NHS, doctors, engineers. So we very carefully match the mentors to your aspirations as young people. Each young person is different, where their strengths and capabilities are, where their aspirations are, what they want to achieve for the future, what challenges they're facing right now. So we match the mentor depending on the mentor's character, the industry they come from, and the job that they do. So we match them to the young people. Another bit that is really important and very useful in our program is the work experiences that young people get with the companies that we work with. Our corporate partners are Anglo-American, Kantar, Smith & Nephew. These are FTSE 100 companies, which are the biggest 100 companies in the UK, and they are international businesses, each of them is specializing in different things. Anglo-American is an operations and mining company that works globally in Latin America, South Africa, and the UK. Smith & Nephew is a science and medical products company. So there are lots of engineers and doctors, as well as other support functions in Smith & Nephew. Kantar is a really brilliant business. They've got almost 40,000 employees around the world doing marketing consulting and creative industries for corporate clients. So we give you different types of work experiences through our workshops, conferences, virtual internships. No matter where you come from in the UK, you can participate in these opportunities. As well as this, Migrant Leaders designs and develops our own workshops and conferences as well. We have our annual education conference, which helps young people apply to universities. We help you specialist support with we give you expert support with others who we have partnered with, such as Varsity Scholars. And we have expertise in helping you write your personal statement and university applications. So our education conference does that. And we have other conferences as well that our mentees can attend throughout the year. So I guess the question would be, who can apply to our program? There are all sorts of applicants. You would have to be between 16 and 25. To begin with, we started the program for first and second generation migrants, but we've now opened up the program to young people of disadvantaged backgrounds, regardless of their ethnicities. So a white British young person who comes from a disadvantaged background can also apply for our program, because we want to be inclusive and we want to help all deserving young people. You would apply on our website, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. But if you go on our website, you will see examples of some of the students who have applied to our program, and some of them in our report on our website joined 2 or 3 years ago. So you can actually begin to see the results that our program has delivered for these wonderful young people. And I'm going to leave you to look at that in your own time. And if I may, I am going to share a video with you before we move on to the other team members and questions and answers that some people might have. Just bear with me to see where the video is. Okay, you should be able to see YouTube. And I shall share one of the videos. I'm going to ask our head of operations, Fawzia Hart, to nominate which videos she likes me to share. 3 options: Smith and Nephew, Kantar, or Anglo-American. I'm going to let Fawzia decide.
Well, it's difficult to choose, really. I think the Kantar one might be an interesting one for everybody.
Let's go for that. Thank you, Fawzia.
It might be worth saying this was a year ago now, wasn't it? Almost to the day.
They will for the first. Okay, so can everyone hear me right now?
Yeah.
Good. So the sharing of video has not worked. I'm going to skip that step. And this is the thing, continuous improvement. We've got to always learn from our experiences. In the future, I'm going to delegate the sharing of video to a team member because despite popular belief, us girls can't multitask as well as we think we can. So, so just to use the time instead to navigate our website, because I want to show the young people where they can apply to our program. I think that's as important. So I am instead going to share my screen to show our website. So can everyone see our homepage?
Yes.
Wonderful, wonderful. So this is the Migrant Leaders website. It's www.migrantleaders.org.uk. I think Fawzia or another team member could put that in the chat. This is our homepage. All our videos are in our impact report. I am just opening our impact report, and I believe you can see the same impact report I was just showing you. Good. So as you navigate the impact report, you can navigate here and you can see some of those videos here by clicking on the impact report. So the videos that we were about to show you, you can go in your own time and see from our impact report. So going back to our website, the way to apply as candidates, as young people to our development program is to go to the join page, apply as a candidate, and you can click on candidate application form and you can apply here. I ought to really explain that we are not just looking for academic performance. We will be asking you about the subjects you do, the grades you got, in order to help us give you the right mentor, and for us to be able to advise you about your career. But we also ask you 4 or 5 questions so that we can understand a little bit more about your potential and your aspirations, hopes and dreams for the future, so that we can help you through our program. So basically, this is where you apply. And there's also application guidance in our digital zone. You can find a candidate in the support section, a candidate application leaflet. So candidate application information, which gives you a little bit more information about how to apply and what the program is about. So I'm mindful of time. I'm going to stop there. Hopefully that gives everyone a little bit of idea about why I started this charity. What does it do? What do young people get when they apply to the program? And also some resources that you can go to afterwards to learn a little bit more, find out a bit more about the program, and to apply for the program. So I wonder if anyone has any questions in the meantime. So young people tend to be a little bit reluctant to single themselves out and ask questions, but I'm going to tell you some of the questions I get asked typically by young people who are applying. The main question is around eligibility. What do you have to be and what do you have to do to be eligible? As I mentioned, just to reiterate, you have to be between 16 and 25 years old, and first or second generation migrant, or from disadvantaged background, regardless of your race or ethnicity. You've seen the resources, you've seen where you can find more information. Are there any other questions, Fawzia, that you typically get asked through the interview process?
Quite often, one of the questions that will come up is how soon will I get a mentor? And that's one that I'm afraid it's quite difficult to answer precisely. It depends on, it's a little bit like you might study in economics, it's supply and demand. So it depends on what specifically you're interested in and then what mentors we have available, because we try and match on your technical interests or your career interests. So if you're interested in finance, then we'll try and match you with an accountant. If you're interested in investment banking, we will try and match you with an investment banker, lawyers, etc., etc. So for some people, it's been really, really quick, and we've actually been delighted when we've been able to make a match on the same day that we've accepted them onto a database, and then the mentor's written back on the same day, and we've introduced them on the same day. I mean, that's rare. It does happen. Generally, it can take a few weeks to months. In some instances, unfortunately, it takes longer, depending on the specialist area. So, for example, law and medicine are 2 areas that are in high demand, and the mentors that we get from those fields are not available for very long because we match them up pretty quickly. And as I said to people who I interview, with the medical profession at the moment, because of the issues with COVID, we've actually not felt able to try and recruit more medical mentors because they're busy doing other things, as I'm sure everybody's aware.
Thank you, Fawzia. Another question that I get asked, recognizing that the students are very busy, as students who've just finished their GCSEs and they apply to our program while they are studying A-levels. I know that from GCSEs to A-levels is a big academic jump. And on top of that, you've got extracurricular activities that you've got to be doing for your university applications. So life is busy. And we've designed the program so that it's modular. It shouldn't take too much of your time to participate in our development program. The mentoring is typically a call or FaceTime or Zoom session once a month. And then you get invites to our various workshops and conferences and work experiences. And you can judge for yourselves if a particular invite is going to be useful to you or not. And you can apply or not. So we've designed it in a modular way so that students can make up their own minds if a particular activity in the program is going to be useful and worth their time. So that's another question that we typically get asked.
We've just had another one raised by Hubaisha, which is, will there be any dentist mentors? Do you want me to take that one, or would you like to?
I had just typed an answer actually that I was about to send, and the short answer is yes. We do have a couple of dentist mentors, as Fawzia suggested. In the field of medicine and dentists, it's probably the hardest for us to recruit, because I recruit the mentors, and my biggest contacts are among big companies and corporates. But Fawzia and I and some others who support us have been, we've been active together and recruiting plenty of doctors and dentists as well as mentors. So the short answer is yes. It might take us a bit longer, but we do have those mentors as well. Yes, so a really good question has come up in relation to how our work experiences and workshops are going to be conducted, given that there's COVID. So when COVID happened, very quickly, we saw that the curve is looking like this. It wasn't going to go away quickly. So even now, we know that we need to continue our workshops and work experiences virtually. Very quickly, actually, as a charity and as a team, we adjusted and we designed our workshops. We did, since COVID has happened, we delivered several workshops around resilience and confidence with other people that we collaborated with. We delivered a virtual workshop on STEM careers, science, mathematics, engineering, technology, STEM careers with Smith and Nephew. We delivered a virtual internship for 3 weeks in August 2020 with Kantar, which was incredibly successful. That was a really quality work experience because each student got a buddy and a mentor in the company Kantar. They got to work together as a team. They got to present their work to the management team of Kantar. And a couple of them have actually got extra mentors from Kantar. And I reckon a couple of them will get jobs at Kantar when they graduate. So really good experience and connections happened because of that 3-week virtual work experience in the summer. So we are now working towards internships, virtual internships every July and August, just chock-a-block. I want to have 5, 6, 7, 8 internship programs every July and August. And I'm working with our corporate partners to design those at the moment. Exciting stuff is coming. So any other questions that the team might have? Sometimes our own team might have questions that they feel might be of relevance to young people, and we'd be happy to answer those.
Hi, I was just wondering, in terms of exam times, you were mentioning about how busy it can be in students' lives and also in your mentors' lives. Is there sort of provision for if you've got a busy exam period or mock exams, can you sort of dip in and out, or how is it managed?
Definitely, really good question, Catherine. Thank you. And as a teacher and ambassador for the schools, your question is extremely helpful. So the short answer is we are very, very flexible. What we do expect, and we have a pre-mentoring program, we have training for our mentees and young people so that they know how to maintain and form professional relationships with their mentors and with the companies that we work with, because that professionalism, reliability, timeliness, commitment, these things are really, really important. But at the same time, we are very flexible. So if a young person is studying for 6 weeks, 8 weeks towards an exam and they can't have a mentoring session, they can tell their mentor. And we've put guidance like this in the document that we've written as mentees guides. So when a young person gets into our program, we send them this mentees guide that talks through these kinds of issues. So the short answer is yes, they can ask their mentor to give them a break so that they focus on their studies. They can take up our offers and invitations to workshops or not. When we do arrange workshops and work experiences, we are very mindful of a school and university holiday periods so that we try and schedule them so that it's inclusive and gives all young people the opportunity to apply to those work experiences.
I was thinking another question applicants might have kind of rolling off of that is how often they're expected to have meetings between the mentor and mentee, and if that maybe differs.
Really good question, Danny. And Danny has joined us as operations assistant recently and already doing a fantastic job. So we're very pleased that you joined us today, Danny. Really good question. It does vary, because even if I look at the 5 or 6 direct mentees that I myself have, I have some of them who are now very well settled at university. They went through that challenging phase at the beginning when they had just done their GCSEs. They might not be sure what they want to do or what university course they've got to select. So it needed conversations and guidance. They then got into university, and now it's all about settling down at university, focusing on their studies, enjoying the university life, and then they may not need intensive mentoring until they need to get internships at top companies. So then they need coaching and mentoring so that they put their best foot forward when they apply to internships in the companies of their choice. So it varies depending on the mentee's stage of life and career and studies, but also different mentees need different things. Some of them need help deciding what to do for the future. Others just want more focused coaching on interviews, applications, internships. It does vary student to student. Any other questions that anyone can ask us that they feel might be useful to young people and students? Okay, wonderful. So before I move on to offer any final words from any team members, and before we end, I'm mindful of time. Are there any other questions or final words from any of the participants on the call or any of the Migrant Leaders team members on the call?
Yeah, I would just like to say that I think it's really good that the students who have showed up, and it's setting them apart already, just by simply being here, being professional, being on time and engaging. I think it's really a positive start. If you were, interested in applying, I think that's a bit of a pat on the back for you guys already. So well done.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Catherine. And equally, those who were not able to join, we would love to see your applications. We're here for you. We are doing this for you. And those who have joined, we are very, very pleased that you've joined. Thank you so much. To Catherine's point, thank you so much for asking questions. because we learn every day by talking to young people. So it's a two-way process. So we would love to see your applications. Go on our website, www.migrantleaders.org.uk, apply as candidates. And my favorite bit of my job is actually reading through the students' applications. So I look forward to seeing those. And I know that Fawzia looks forward to it as well. And our whole team loves working with young people. So thank you very much for your time this morning. And we look forward to seeing all of you.